And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another weekly cruise recap. We are a few days late. I had a little bit of a busy weekend this weekend, so I was not able to do my normal Saturday stream, and we pushed it to today. So thank you guys for being patient, and thank you for coming out tonight. Looks like we already got Travel with Nick over there in the chat. What's going on, man? Nice to see you. So we got a little bit of cruise news that we're going to recap over the course of this stream. And then, of course, my cat has already arrived onto the stream. She is quite a common occurrence now, it seems like. But we're going to go over kind of a little bit of a cruise news over the past week or so. And then also we're going to kind of discuss the cruise I just booked, because I am super excited for that. For those of you who did not see today's video, I am booked on Mariner of the Seas, sailing out of Port Canaveral, Florida this September. She's going to start making her sailings late August. I think that was the 25th is when her first sailing is. And then Justin Hirsch and I will be going on the sailing in September 17th. Just a quick Friday to Monday, short 3-day cruise, mostly just to try to just get back out there for a little bit. Please do not chew on the camera. I will have to disown you. Yeah, just kind of a quick 3-day cruise just in order to, kind of get back out there a little bit. I think we might do maybe like a longer cruise, maybe like a 7-day on something later on in the year, maybe October, November or so. So besides that, we'll dive a little bit deeper as more people get into the stream, though. It is pretty early on, so not too many people are in the chat here or watching the stream. But besides that, we had quite a bit of cruise news over the past week. More cruise ships are setting sail, which is amazing. Of course, we have the Freedom of the Seas set sail over the weekend. She actually just returned to port earlier today, just finished up her first cruise, very successful cruise. Looks like we got Sean over in the chat. How's it going? Nice. Thanks for coming out to the stream. But yeah, Freedom of the Seas just finished up her first cruise today. She is just set sail on her second cruise in the Port of Miami. I think she's already left. Either that or she's getting ready to leave. But she did a 3-night sailing basically over to just Coco Cay and the Port of Nassau. She was actually in Nassau with the Adventure of the Seas, which was really cool. Adventure of the Seas was there in Nassau for, obviously, embarkation because she's sailing out of there for now. And then she went over to Coco Cay, where they, just their normal port stop. But the cool thing about that is because they were in Perfect Day on 4th of July, so this cat. Yeah, they were in Perfect Day for 4th of July, so they kind of since all the ships were kind of just sitting there idle, or most of the ships were, they brought most of them in. Freedom stayed at the pier, but they brought all the ships in basically and were able to did a big fireworks celebration, which was really, really neat to see. Of course, everybody on board got a really cool show. It was really cool from what I've seen over on YouTube videos and live streams of it. That was really neat. Looks like we got the Tyler Show. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. Yeah, it was really neat looking cruise, and they had Odyssey of the Seas was right there nearby. We had the Adventure of the Seas that was nearby. Looked like the Adventure had some passengers on board as well, but they weren't quite as close as the Freedom was because the Freedom was docked. Please don't chew on any of this stuff. But yeah, it was really neat. I think they had the Mariner, which is my ship. Mariner was there. I think Allure was off the coast as well, and then obviously we had the brand new Odyssey of the Seas, which was really neat. So that was really cool. So now Freedom's going to set sail on a 4-night cruise that will return on Friday. Basically the same thing except throwing in a sea day there. And so, everything seems successful so far. We also had the Celebrity Edge complete her first sailing from the United States. That one really well. No reported cases on board, at least from what I've seen. God, please. She's obsessed with keyboards. And so she will do anything she can to jump on top of a keyboard. And it will ruin everything. She does this while I'm at work, too. So it's not just the stream, but she does this while I'm trying to work as well. So, but she just loves attention. Ow! Don't bite me. But yeah, so Celebrity Edge just returned from her first sailing as well. Went very successful. So she is returned to now and setting sail on her second cruise. She's doing the 7-day voyages from Fort Lauderdale. Please don't chew on any of this. You have a chewing problem. But she's doing a Bahamas and Cozumel, Mexico cruise. She's also going over to Costa Maya as well. And why must you chew on all of this? Please don't. You can't hang out up here. Can't hang out up here if you're gonna chew on stuff. But yeah, so she's setting sail over to. She's gonna do Nassau, Cozumel, Mexico, and Costa Maya, Mexico as well. Costa Maya is a really nice port. I have been there a couple times and I absolutely love that place. Cozumel is one of my favorite Caribbean destinations as well. So a great itinerary, even though it's only 3 stops for a 7-day cruise. It sounds like a great time, to be honest with you. And then we have the Adventure of the Seas set sail again. She's been doing very well. A couple cases on board, but no outbreaks, which is always great. That's pretty much the goal. You know, having cases on board is kind of inevitable. It's going to happen, vaccinated or not. But containing the spread and basically making sure it's not an outbreak is the main goal. And so the fact that there's been no outbreaks on board that ship is really good sign. Very positive news. What else we got here? We have the Celebrity Summit has now taken over for the Celebrity Millennium over in St. Martin, doing those 7-day Southern Caribbean cruises out of St. Martin. The reason being is that Millennium is getting ready to go over to Alaska to start up over there. So I'm not sure why they didn't either just put Summit over there in Alaska, or they didn't just put Summit there to begin with in St. Martin. I'm not really too sure. But nonetheless, it is really exciting because now we're having more and more ships start up. So now we have another ship starting up over on the West Coast doing Alaska cruises for Celebrity Cruise Line, even though Millennium is already up and running to begin with. No passengers as she makes her way over to Seattle, though. But very positive and very exciting because the Alaska cruise season is getting up and running finally. We had the Norwegian Encore just arrived over in Seattle as well, over in Pier, I think it was Pier 66 or Pier 99. I think Pier 99 is New York. But New York, the Norwegian Encore is what I meant to say. Norwegian Encore is arrived in Seattle as well. She's going to be doing the Alaska cruise season. She starts up in mid-August as well. So Norwegian's kind of playing catch up a little bit, it seems like, unfortunately. I think they didn't realize the ball was going to get rolling so fast, is what I think it was. I think Royal Caribbean and Carnival kind of stayed ready while Norwegian Cruise Line was kind of like, all right, let's see what happens, and then everything happened at once, and then now they're kind of catching up. Sean, what's the deal with the Norwegian? They've been awfully quiet. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I was just saying, I think it was more of they're trying to play catch up at this point. I think they didn't think it was going to get up and running so quickly, and so I think now they're scrambling. I know they're having a lot of trouble with getting crew members on board the ships and stuff like that. Because originally, I think the Encore was actually taking crew home at one point. I think back in maybe March or April. So that's why she's actually now on the West Coast. But she had just come over from the Philippines because she was taking all sorts of crew members home. So it's kind of unfortunate, but I guess, you know, just kind of have to stay prepared like the other cruise lines were, because Carnival's getting a lot of ships up and running. Royal Caribbean's got almost a majority of their fleet now up and running. Anthem of the Seas got going over the week, or I guess last week, so she's just wrapping up her first cruise over in the UK. We got another Celebrity ship that started up over in the UK as well. So lots of ships going over in Europe as well, on top of everything that's starting up over here in the United States as well. So lots of Royal Caribbean ships finally sailing. So, and what else we have? We had Oasis of the Seas was just, I usually have a script here, like little bullet points, that I just been really busy today. But Oasis of the Seas was cleared to do some test cruises. She's going to be sailing out of Bayonne in New Jersey, so she's going to start doing some test cruises up there, and that's where she's going to start sailing from. And I think September is what it's going to be if everything goes well. So we're starting to get ships up over in the New York and New Jersey area, which is really neat and really exciting for the cruise lines. Because obviously that's a really big market up there, and I think there's a lot of cruisers up there that really are dying to go without having to travel all the way up all the way down to Florida. So with the Breakaway arriving in New York City for Norwegian in September, and then Oasis sailing out of New Jersey as well in September. So very exciting and very great news, and I think a really good start, and I think that market is going to get going very soon, which is really great. We also have, we got more ships from Carnival Cruise Line. We have that are up and running finally. We had the Carnival Vista was the first ship in the Carnival Cruise Line fleet that got up and running for Carnival. She set sail on Saturday from Galveston, Texas on a 7-day cruise. And we had she's going to be doing a Western Caribbean itinerary going to like Mexico and things like that. Whereas we have the Carnival Horizon that left yesterday out of Port of Miami. She was actually escorted out of Port of Miami by the Carnival Mardi Gras, which is really cool. That was really neat to watch. I actually sat and watched it on the webcam. And so that was really cool to watch. She didn't dock at all or anything like that. Mardi Gras just pretty much came in, turned around in the basin and left, and pretty much just escorted Horizon out to sea, which is really, really cool. I think that was kind of a last-minute thing, and a lot of people were caught off guard by that. A lot of the passengers got a really nice surprise whenever she arrived in port. So it was really, really cool for Carnival to arrange something like that. But Carnival Horizon's doing a 7-day itinerary as well. She's going to return next weekend. Horizon is the second of the 2 Vista-class ships, and so before the Mardi Gras, she was like kind of the flagship of the fleet. So looks like most of the Vista-class ships are running besides Panorama. Panorama will get going over in Long Beach, where she's always been home ported to this point, even though she's kind of a brand new ship. But she is going to be sailing out of there in mid to late August. Panorama will be sailing out of the port of Long Beach over on the West Coast. So not too long from now, we're going to have the entire Vista-class fleet, the Mardi Gras sailing. So things are looking great for Carnival Cruise Line. I think I heard somewhere that the Carnival Ecstasy is actually going to get going over in the port of Jacksonville starting in early September, like on the 2nd, I believe it was. I'll have to kind of confirm that. But from what I was told, that the Ecstasy was going to get up and running going pretty soon. Alk61695, how's it going? Nice to see you in the chat. I'm doing good. How are you? You missed Belle. She was all over the place. She was chewing on everything. But yeah, besides that, just kind of talked about my cruise a little bit that I just booked. We're going to get into a little more detail here because I kind of interact with you guys and see what you guys think and stuff like that. But besides that, we've just kind of been covering everything that's been going on, all the ships going that have been sailing over the weekend and stuff like that. But yeah, speaking of Mardi Gras, so Mardi Gras is actually ready to set sail at the end of the month. She's going to set sail from Port Canaveral for the 7-day itinerary. And she's going to be, of course, the Mardi Gras is going to sail out of Terminal 3 from Port Canaveral. That terminal was specifically built for that ship, which is amazing. But yeah, it's very exciting. We got so many more ships going up. What did I book? I booked the Mariner of the Seas for September. So I'm extremely excited about that. Going to Perfect Day Coco Cay, which is, I think, almost just as exciting as the cruise itself. But anyways, yeah, if you guys got any questions, of course, make sure you drop them in the chat. I'd love to answer them. But so, yeah, I guess now that we kind of recapped everything for the most part, let's kind of dive into my cruise. So, yeah, this was a very last-minute decision. I think we had kind of had given up almost, trying to find something soon. But I think something just randomly was perfect. And So Friday, September 17th, I'm going to be heading down to Florida. Justin Hirsch and I will be sailing on Mariner of the Seas. We're going to do a 3-day cruise going from Port Canaveral over to Nassau, and just perfect day, and then returning over to Port Canaveral as well. I definitely will be going on the water slide. There's a lot of stuff to do on that ship. I'm really excited for it. But yeah, it's so the 2 stops and no sea days really. So it's gonna be kind of crazy trying to get everything done in those 2 days, especially with them being port days. What I think we might do is, since Nassau, there's really not a whole lot to do. I think what we may end up doing, or kind of like what Justin and I did when we were on the Liberty, we might just do like some, ship spotting almost. Just kind of like walking up and down the port and the pier and all that, just kind of taking pictures and videos of the ships. We're going to have a lot of ships in port that day. We actually have Adventure of the Seas will be there that day on doing an embarkation process and embarkation day for them. We'll have Freedom of the Seas there as well. She's going to be doing the exact same itinerary as us, but sailing from the port of Miami, which is awesome. Who else do we got? We have Crystal Serenity, is another ship that's going to be home ported out of Nassau, Bahamas. I think she's either sailing this weekend or next weekend. But she's like a small ship from a subsidiary, or it's like a smaller cruise line owned by Norwegian, I believe. I could never do a 3-day cruise. It's too short. I agree. The main reason was that, minimal days off of work, which was perfect because we were able to get Justin to go. But I think just to try to get out there and just finally get on board a ship for a little bit is mainly the goal of the cruise itself. But I agree, 3 days is definitely too short, especially with a ship like Mariner. There's no like time, almost, it feels like, no sea days to run around the ship and actually like explore everything. So I think we're going to use Nassau as that day to kind of run around. They are perfect for a getaway while using no vacation days. Exactly. I think I'm going to end up using like 2 vacation days out of this, which is nice because I'm more than likely be starting a new job over the next, in late this month, early August. So, with being kind of brand new into that company, it's good that I'm only going to be taking like 2 days off. But yeah, very, very excited for that though. It's going to be a lot of fun. What other ships do we have in port? I think if the Disney Dream is up and running by that point, I think she will be, because I know she's supposed to get some test cruises started up fairly soon. I know those got delayed, but I don't really know, the time frame on everything with them so far. But if Disney Dream is up and running by that point, then Disney Dream will be in Port Canaveral with us on embarkation day, and then with us in Nassau as well. And then she'll be with us when we return to Port Canaveral. So that'd be really cool. I love seeing Disney ships always. The Dream is one of my favorite ships to go ship spotting with, because like Disney Dream's just a very beautiful ship. I love that ship. Let's see. Totally understand. I never understood why the Mariner goes such short cruises. A smaller ship would be perfect. Yeah, I remember when they did the Majesty out of Port Canaveral. That was a good ship, just because there wasn't really too much on board to do. So, it kind of like with the 2, no sea days, 2 port days, it kind of gave you, a reason to go without, being like, all right, I'm going to get bored by sitting on this really small ship, nothing to do or anything like that. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot. I think what we're gonna do is, I know they got the SkyPad on board the Mariner. We got the surf simulator, the Flow Rider. Definitely doing a Flow Rider. That's gonna be so much fun. Maybe I'll do that like on embarkation day, maybe when we leave as well. I can't wait to do that again. I was on the Freedom of the Seas when she was brand new. She was like the first ship to have that. That was so much fun. And then I was able to finally do like the stand-up surfing whenever I went on Oasis a couple years ago. And that was amazing. I was actually I was decent at it, but I didn't stay up very long. Longer than I anticipated, but yeah, I stayed up, for a little bit. But I absolutely love that. That was always been one of my favorite things from Royal Caribbean, was that surfing simulator, the Flow Riders. So I'm glad it made it over to Mariner. Definitely checking out the water slides. What else does that ship have? The ship's got a mini golf course. They've got that little ice skating rink. I don't know if we're gonna do the ice skating just because of time and everything like that. But I think they do like a laser tag thing in there sometimes too, which would be really cool if they still did that. But yeah, we got a lot to do. We got there's a basketball court. There's rock climbing, all sorts of stuff. I think we may have to go to Johnny Rockets. That's always a must when you go on Royal Caribbean. You got to go there at least once. I think they do like complimentary breakfast there, or the breakfast at Johnny Rockets is free, so I may have to do that. But I'm so excited for this cruise. I had a video go out earlier today, just kind of like making the announcement, and I was like off the walls excited. I was like, I got the text last night that like we were officially booked and everything like that, and I was like screaming. I was like, oh my god, I'm going on a cruise. Like it's such a weird feeling at this point because it's been so long, and I really didn't. Waking up yesterday morning, I did not expect to be booking a cruise by the end of the night. But yeah, I'm unbelievably hyped for the cruise. And Mariner is such a nice ship. My parents went on her not last year, but 2019 in November. They went on the 3-day cruise as well, kind of like what I'm doing. But they went to Perfect Day. I'm super excited for Perfect Day. But when I get to Perfect Day, I want to hear. So everybody in the chat, if you've ever been to CocoCay, let me know and what you think I should do. I have a couple ideas of what we should do. I think I might do like some of the water slides there as well. I know they have like zip lines. They've got the big balloon that you could do, stuff like that. So definitely like let me know what you guys would like to see from CocoCay. I think I'm going to do an island tour video as well, because I think an island tour of CocoCay would be really awesome to have. Definitely going to be a ship tour video as well. I can't wait to do a ship tour of Mariner. She's a big ship, and it's going to be a lot of fun. This will be the first time I've sailed on Royal Caribbean in 6 years now. The last time was on Oasis back in 2015. That was when I graduated high school. So it's been quite a while since I have sailed with Royal Caribbean. So super excited for this, and so yeah, very, very excited for this. I mean, you have to go on the water slide, Coco. Yeah, exactly. I think you just have to go. Is there another ship at CocoCay with us? Yes, it'll be Freedom of the Seas. She's actually going to do the exact same itinerary as us. Except she's going to be sailing from Miami. So she'll be in Nassau with us and in CocoCay. So actually, I'm really excited for that, because having two ships in Coco is really awesome. And let alone it being the amplified Freedom of the Seas, so I'll get, new footage of her and all that. But yeah, so it'll be Mariner and Freedom of the Seas and CocoCay with it that day. So I'm super excited for that. There might be a good bit of people there. I'm not too sure. I don't know if they're doing like capacity limits or anything like that in November. So we'll have to see, but shouldn't really be an issue. I know they've had like Oasis and like Oasis class there all the time. So, it shouldn't be too much of an issue as far as like crowds and stuff like that. The balloon does look really fun though, or really neat, like a really good aerial view of the island. I think most of the stuff is like usually you have to like pay for and stuff like that. So I think you got to like buy a pass in order to go on the water slide, or like all the water slides and stuff like that. Or you've got to book the excursion to go on the balloon and stuff like that. So that would be the advantage of having the cruise that they were doing before the pandemic, where the Mariner would go to CocoCay, Nassau, and then back to Coco. That would be a really awesome opportunity to do like a double dip, just because of how much there is to do in Coco. You would probably be better with one ship since it would be less crowded. Yeah, exactly. I think it would be less crowded. I don't know if the crowds will be such an issue though. I don't really know what the capacity limits are going to be, but I think Coco's still a fairly big island. There's so much to do there that I don't think it's going to be much of an issue as far as crowds and trying to make sure, or like, very long lines for the slides or long lines to do anything like that. Actually, one thing I saw earlier today, I didn't realize this was a thing, but like, there's the whole swim up bar. What I heard, or like what I thought of when I heard swim up bar was like, it's in the little pool I think they have one of these, but it was like a, you swim up to it inside the pool. There's like some seats and stuff like that. But there's actually like a floating bar out like off like 20, 30 feet off the beach, to where you actually have to swim out and climb up onto the bar, which is really cool. I found that I was actually watching some of Sean and Steph's Mariner of the Seas videos early today, and so it was really cool to see that. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that was an actual thing. So I may have to check that out. That looks really fun. I'm super excited for Coco Cay though. I think that on top of being on Mariner of the Seas is going to be absolutely amazing, and that's pretty much the selling point of it. It's like, oh, this ship goes to Coco. Like, I definitely have to go on it. Like, I definitely have to go. So I'm really excited for it. What else is there? But yeah, besides that, we're gonna be in Nassau really late though. We're gonna be in Nassau until I think 9 p.m. is when we leave. So we might actually get some sail away footage of, or I guess we will, for most of the ships that are gonna be there that day, which will be really neat. For some of the ships, there's actually if you look back to some of my Liberty videos that I did in Nassau, there's a little pier over by Senor Frogs where like it kind of comes out a little bit, and you get a really good view of where the ships turn and like the ships come in and stuff like that. It's very similar to where like the port webcam is. It's in a very, I guess it's nearby or something like that. But I think what we may do is, if we can time it right, we might try to go over there and catch some of the sailaways from that little spot. Because doing it from the cruise or the ship would be really awesome, but being on shore and actually watching them leave from Nassau would be really neat, just because of how like different that is. And it's almost like ship spotting, but in Nassau, which is something that I've never done before, which is really cool. So I'm excited. It's going to be a really great cruise. And I think we got 70, 74, 73 days to go. So it's going to be a long 74 days from now. But I'm super excited. I haven't decided if I'm going to fly or drive into the cruise, or into the port, or I guess not into the port, but down to Florida. I'm going to meet up with Justin in Tampa, and then we're going to go to the Port Canaveral from there. But I don't know if I'm going to fly down the day before or if I'm going to drive down the day before. I haven't decided. The flights are really cheap. I just haven't decided if I feel like driving or anything like that. I feel like I just got a brand new car, so I'm almost dying to take it on a road trip. So maybe I might do that. Is Royal still sailing from Bermuda? No, they're not. I don't believe so, at least. So I think what they ended up doing is, because they knew that it'd be more likely that the ships would be sailing into the U.S. by that point, that they decided to cancel all those. And I don't remember where they're putting. I think it was Grandeur that they were putting over there, or Enchantment. I forgot which ship it was. But they're putting the ship somewhere else. I'm not sure if they've made a decision on that, or if they're going to do anything with that ship yet. But I know they stopped the bookings, and they canceled all the sailings out of there because of the demand, and they kind of knew at that point that the sailings would be going from the United States by then. So that's why they canceled all those. But it would have been really cool sailing out of Bermuda. It's kind of the same thing happened with almost everybody with those sailings from a foreign port. We had the Norwegian Gem was supposed to sail out of the Dominican Republic at one point. They ended up moving all of those sailings over to Miami, which is even better. We had I think it was the Norwegian Joy that was supposed to sail out of Jamaica as well. And they canceled all those, and I think the Joy, I don't know if the Joy's even going to get going until November now, which is kind of weird, but I know they're doing like a big shuffle of all the ships basically right now. What else did we have? They didn't have to redeploy the Encore or anything like that. I know they switched it with the Bliss, because I think the Bliss was originally supposed to be over doing the Alaska cruises this year, but it was easier to get the Encore over there, so they started doing they put the Encore in there. They swapped those ships since they're exactly the same. But yeah. So instead of having the Gem sailing out of Dominican Republic, we're gonna have the Gem sailing out of Miami in mid-August, I believe. I think August 15th is the first sailing. So not too much longer actually. She's only about a month at this point, which is really crazy that all of these ships are going to get up and running. I know Carnival's got a lot of ships that are going to get going in August as well. I know the Sunrise is one of those. July 31st is Mardi Gras, like we were talking about earlier. What else was there? I think it was. I forgot. I think there was another ship that was going to get going out of Miami or Port Canaveral. I don't remember. What else? But we have I think the Allure and the Symphony are going to get going in August as well. I think the Allure is going to sail out of Port Canaveral, I would think it was. I lost track of all. There's so many ships going and starting up all over the place now. But I think Allure was supposed to sail out of Port Canaveral in the next month or so. And then Symphony is going to go into the Port of Miami, where she's always been. So, she's going to just go into her normal home port, which is awesome. She was actually in the Port Everglades, I think, this weekend. I don't know if she still is. But Symphony of the Seas, that was actually her very first time coming to Port Everglades. I don't know why she came there instead of the Port of Miami, but interesting. But really cool. I think the Harmony's still over in Europe, though. Since cruises in the U.S. are starting up again, how much longer is Adventure going to be sailing from Nassau? I think they had those sailings through, I think it was maybe late September, early October. I don't think they're going to extend Adventure's time there. I think if anything, they might move her to like Port Everglades, but I think this fall is when she's going to head back up. I'm sure. It's really cool that they're doing that, but it's definitely easier for guests and everybody to sail from the U.S. obviously, especially coming from the U.S. So I think she's scheduled either through late September to mid-October or so. So I think once they hit that point, they're not going to put any more sailings out of Nassau. I think they're going to move her somewhere, maybe like Fort Lauderdale or maybe Port of Miami. I would say Fort Lauderdale is probably the more likely option though, because she normally sails out of there anyways. Yeah, and I think she's only there because she kind of was the first one to get going, and it was pretty much too late at that point. The sailings were like a month out. But yeah, it'll be really cool. I think I'm excited to see her when she's in Nassau, though, or whenever I'm there in Nassau with Freedom and Adventure of the Seas as well. So that'll be really cool. But what else do we have? Speaking of August ships, we have the Magic going. I was originally supposed to try to get on board her. That didn't work out, but the Magic was the one I was thinking of. But the Mariner is going to get up and running in August as well for Royal Caribbean, obviously, because she's going to get started on the 25th of August, and then I'll be on board the 17th of September. So really, really cool. I'm a little nervous about hurricane season because September is like the heart of hurricane season. So hopefully everything is good with that, but I'm sure we'll be all right. It's nice that they're sailing from Nassau, but with cruises leaving from the U.S., I wouldn't want to travel all the way to Nassau when I could just stay in the U.S. Exactly, and I think that's exactly what they're starting to realize, and I think that's exactly why they're not going to extend Adventure's time over in Nassau. But I think she's doing very well over there. They've been very successful sailing so far. One thing I heard recently that, so if you're sailing from a U.S. port into Nassau, previously you had to get like a visa, exactly how you have to get a visa in order to sail on Adventure of the Seas, just to get into the Bahamas basically. But I think originally you had to have a visa in order to get into Nassau if you're coming in as a port stop. But I heard recently that, like as of maybe yesterday or a few days ago, that's no longer the case for ships that are coming in from Florida. You no longer have to get that visa, which is awesome because that's just one little thing that you don't have to worry about anymore when you get on the ship or when you are trying to get ready for your cruise. So Yeah, especially leading up to this cruise, I definitely want to do some videos where I talk about what is needed in order to go on a cruise after COVID and stuff like that, how to go over the protocols and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of stuff on the Royal Caribbean app that is really, really useful. And Royal Caribbean's actually made it almost like a necessity to have that Royal Caribbean app, because your muster drill is on there. It gives you instructions on like what to do during the muster drill. You make all of your reservations on there now. All sorts of stuff, like pretty much anything you need to do on board the ship, you pretty much do on the app now, which is really, it's good because it gets people to download it and it gets people to use it. But there are some people obviously that don't have smartphones still, so for them obviously there are exceptions, and there's ways to get around that and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think it's almost streamlined the process. Like I can check in for my cruise once like all the payments have gone through and stuff like that, which should be today or tomorrow for the Mariner. I should be able to check in literally from my phone. I don't even have to go onto the website anymore to check in for the cruise, which is awesome. I can just be like, click, check in for the cruise, we're good. And I think they actually have all the videos and stuff like that for the muster drill as well already on the app for me. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. But yeah, it gives all sorts of stuff, and I think I'll do a video where I actually like screen record some of this. That hopefully there's not like any information that I shouldn't be showing off or anything like that. But I think I'll go through and just kind of show off everything like that. Like here we have, if it'll focus, like that's some of the muster drill information. Like here, the little play button will actually play. Let's see. No, it's not playing. The little like play button here will actually play the like the sound, like all the beeping and stuff like that you hear on the muster drills normally. It'd be like, look for this sound or listen for this sound. This is what this means, stuff like that. And then obviously has a safety video on there. I think what you have to do, and hopefully I get a little more clarification on this, that way I can make a good video on it. But the video on there, you pretty much watch it, and then there's, you go to your muster station whenever you get on board the ship, basically, or once you finish watching the video, once you're on board, you go to that muster station, they scan your card, and they just pretty much check you off and be like, all right, you've been briefed, you've got your muster requirements, and you're good to go. So that'd be awesome. And I think it's not only due to COVID and everything like that, but I think it's going to be a lot better of a process and a lot more just fun maybe not fun, but it's not like all right, let's go to the muster drill before we leave. It's always packed in there. The muster drills are never enjoyable. Although after everything over the last year, I will never complain about another muster drill in my life. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. And yeah, it should be. I think it'll be a good change. How long is the celebrity ship staying in St. Martin? So actually, Millennium just got swapped out. Millennium is heading over to Seattle for the Alaska season. They just swapped in the Summit, which is identical ship. The Summit is taking over the St. Martin sailings now in St. Martin, but I think she got started last week, or it was this week. I don't remember I think it was last week. But I think she's going to be exactly the same as Adventure. I'll have to just double check. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be sailing out of St. Martin much longer either. Maybe September to October at the latest. Because I'm sure it's going to be, obviously everybody wants to sail out of the US. Being Celebrity, I think kind of like Adventure, it would be most likely that they go to Port Everglades to resume sailings out of there as well. It's just so much easier, and I think that was why I never really looked into going on, or went through with booking either Millennium or the Adventure to this point, because it was just so expensive. Because you gotta get a hotel the day before. You've also gotta get a flight into Nassau, which is obviously expensive as well. So it made it a lot more expensive of a process and experience just to get on board the ship. So getting the ships over into the U.S. is a huge plus, because especially with those who live in Florida, they're not used to flying into ports and stuff like that, to where that's just an added expense for people like that. An extra 100, 200. I think the flights that I looked at out of Atlanta to Nassau were close to $300 or more. I mean, that's kind of pushing it as far as budget wise, trying to go on just to get a flight to go on a cruise. So I think my flight I haven't booked the flight yet, but I think flights for to go into Tampa for my Mariner cruise are going to be like maybe 180, which is pretty good. Which Atlanta to Tampa is pretty short flight anyways. But I'm going into Tampa just because Justin lives there, and so I'm going to stay with him Thursday night. That way we can just drive straight over to Port Canaveral on Friday morning. So that'll be really awesome. And then I think I'm going to fly back, Monday afternoon when we get off the ship. That way I can be back to work by Tuesday, which is awesome. Well, it would be nice. As much as I don't want to return to work, I have to. So in order to go on another cruise. Actually, earlier today I was looking at MSC of all cruise lines. They have a really crazy deal going on right now where solo passengers are, if you book solo, it's like extremely cheap. The Meraviglia is sailing out of Port of Miami in August. I think it was August 20th, I want to say. It was a 3-day cruise. Again, another 3-day cruise just over the weekend, but a massive ship. It was like less than $300 for a balcony for just one person. So if I wasn't starting a new job in early August, then I would totally go on that. So, and maybe I still can. I don't know. They told me I have 10 days of vacation to use by the end of the year, so maybe I will. We'll have to see. Maybe once I start, if they're still giving that really good deal, I may have to book that last minute. Going to work will help you pay. Going to work will help you pay for the cruises in the future. Yeah, that's for sure. I definitely need to have some sort of income in order to pay. YouTube money helps, but it definitely won't pay the bills. But yeah. Anyways, if you guys have any questions as far as my upcoming cruise, or any questions about any of the stuff that's been happening over the week, I might, give it maybe another 10 minutes on the stream here and call it a night. So, but yeah, it's been a very good week in the cruise industry. We got a total of four ships sailing out of the United States now. Carnival Breeze will be up and running in about 2 weeks now, so that'll be awesome. Let's see. They should send Harmonia over for the short cruises, not Meraviglia. Yeah, I think they just want the Meraviglia running at this point. But yeah, I think she's a very big ship. She's like, that's like having Norwegian Escape or the Quantum of the Seas doing 3-night cruises, which is huge. I definitely wouldn't be able to do everything on board that ship in 3 days. But the cruise does go to Ocean Cay, which would be really cool. I haven't really even sailed with MSC before, so that alone is kind of why I'm even interested in the cruise. Plus, Meraviglia is just a really neat looking ship, very big ship, so that'd be awesome. And but yeah, besides that, I guess that'll be kind of it for the night. Just kind of a quick cruise news recap, kind of talk about the upcoming cruise and stuff like that. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll try to do our regular scheduled program on Saturday at 7 or 8 p.m. For our normal weekly cruise recaps. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week on Saturday, or I guess this coming Saturday. And I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.